Hi, my name is Rick Adams from practicalcsm.com. I am joined today by Bhavika Kochhar. Bhavika is a customer success manager working for iZoo2, and she is based in New Delhi in India. Bhavika describes herself as an experienced customer success manager with a demonstrated history of working in the internet industry. She's skilled in data analysis, artificial intelligence management, account management, and machine learning. Her role as CSM at iZoo2 includes handling customers from all over the world, and Bhavika places a strong emphasis on empathy and relationship building. As well as the normal tasks that CSMs get up to regarding things like onboarding customers, churn reduction, maximizing retention revenues, educating customers and increasing customer advocacy, Bhavika also leads the publisher side of her company and is involved in various projects relating to this. Bhavika, it's great to have you here.
Hello, Rick, and thank you for having me here.
My pleasure. And once again, thank you for agreeing to come on the show. Mostly, I have to go around begging people to give up their time to come onto the podcast show to share their expertise. But in this instance, you were actually slightly different, Bhavika, in that you were proactive and you actually approached me asking to come on. And that's wonderful. I have to say, I'm very glad that you did, because I think that the topic for today's conversation, which is my journey into customer success management, is one that will interest a lot of people who may be listening to this podcast and in the exact same position that you were in, which is where they perhaps already had a career, but they want to change direction and get into a career in customer success. And this podcast conversation will be all about how you went about that difficult direction change. And we'll describe perhaps some of the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them. And I look forward very much to getting into some of that with you. But first of all, would you be kind enough, please, just to give us an overall introduction to yourself for everyone? Tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and perhaps just give us a very brief summary of your current role, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, Rick. So I'm really thrilled to share my journey with you and the audience. Let me start with my introduction. I'm based in New Delhi, and currently I'm working as a customer success manager at iZoo2. Along with this, I have taken up some fabulous projects, like I'm working as a chapter lead for Delhi NCR region at Customer Success Network. Moreover, recently I've also accepted a role of an ambassador at Product Led Alliance, and there are many other initiatives that I'm working for. And of course, I am also very proactive in taking up machine learning and data science courses because I want to gain some knowledge in that domain.
That's a fascinating subject in its own right, isn't it? Machine learning. So, and one that I assume is, in the same in India as everywhere else, is really at the sort of the cutting edge of where science meets technology, and very exciting for the future, I would say.
Right, yes.
Okay, well, great. Thanks for that basic introduction, Bhavika. And once again, warm welcome to you. It's great to have you here. And let's start talking about more detail about your journey into customer success management. And I know that it wasn't necessarily all that easy for you to break into customer success management. So unlike most of my podcasts, instead of asking you like a whole bunch of specific questions around the subject matter, I'm actually going to turn it over to you and let you explain your journey yourself in your own way, using your own words. And I'll just interrupt if I don't understand something, or perhaps if I want to explore a certain point with you in more detail. So would that approach be okay with you?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, good. So, all right then. Well, look, in your own words then, Bhavika, could you please take us back to the beginning and tell us the story of your journey into customer success?
So I'll start from the beginning. I graduated as an engineer in 2015 in information technology, and I wasn't really sure of if I'll be going ahead with software development as a career or not. So I had thought that after my exams, I'll get some time to think about this, but unfortunately, I was among the first 10 people who received the offer letter before the final exams. So I thought of going ahead with the training because I had heard a lot that the training is really worth attending. So I went for it, and as time progressed, I realized that I would be fit for a role where there is a mix of technology, relationship building, and most importantly, communication. This is because I love talking to people, sharing their experiences, and listening to others, and much more. So, hence, I decided to come back to Delhi, and here I joined a background verification firm in Gurgaon. After that, I received an offer from Amazon Bangalore as well. So I was really elated on receiving this opportunity, and because of course I had really worked hard for it, and I started this beautiful journey at Amazon as a French translation associate. Some of my responsibilities included being in touch with French brand managers, resolving various issues, and translating content for Amazon.fr. And there were many other responsibilities that I was part of. Apart from this, I was also involved in a lot of projects, so which helped me in getting the recognition from my managers. The great thing was that I was able to use my technical knowledge in these projects. And after completing my tenure at Amazon, I moved back to Delhi because of some personal reasons. After coming back to Delhi, I was not really searching for a full-time job. I wanted to try out myself in a research domain. So this is when I was offered a role of research intern at Z1 Media, and I accepted that and started working for them. We wrote a research paper together that got accepted at the International Conference of Machine Learning and Data Science. So that was a great news for us because it was like 3 months hard work that actually paid result, and the paper got accepted at the conference. So I was doing this internship there, but before the completion of my internship, I was offered a role of an account manager there. So I started working full time for them as an account manager. Um, I was the first and the only account manager to be hired in that firm at that point of time. And of course, because of which I got a lot of opportunities. There were many situations where I led many projects in the company and got appreciated many times. So,
And can I ask, was that because obviously it was a research intern role, and then they offered you an account management role?
mhm.
So what was that an account management role in the classic sort of normal sense that I would understand what an account manager is, looking after one or a number of customers who are existing customers, looking to help to understand what their needs are and to spot opportunities for upselling, cross-selling,
Right.
making sure that they renew if there was any professional services or software as a service,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Right. It's the same thing. They were like I was handling the publisher accounts from all the geos, and it's the same thing handling their queries, understanding their journey, how to actually make their journey successful with the product, what are their issues, and yes, it's pretty much the same what you mentioned, Rick.
Right. And would you say that the account management role has a fair amount of similarity or crossover to the customer success management role?
As per my point of view, I feel yes, they are quite similar, but customer success is actually about relationship building. That how well do you maintain that relationship with the customer. However, account management goes more along the lines of upselling, where there's money involved, or you feel that there is a planned upgrade or something like that. But customer success is a very proactive role, and you need to have empathy with the customer. That's the first thing that you need to have in a customer success role.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, and I do apologise for interrupting you. So you were telling us that you'd got your research internship, and then they'd offered you the account manager role, and you'd accepted it. So please do carry on your story.
Right, that's okay. So so I started there as an account manager, and of course I was involved in a lot of things, and I really enjoyed because there were many opportunities that I got because I was the first, like I mentioned, I was the first and the only account manager, and there were a couple of great things that I do, and there were many things that are still being followed there, which is a great compliment for me. So, so after completing the role at completing the account management role there, I got hired at Izuto as customer success manager. So here also I'm working for the publisher accounts. I am handling publisher accounts from all geos like India, US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and there are many more. So I am really handling a lot of stuff with retention, customer advocacy, customer success, and then upgrades and all that stuff. So as a customer success manager, of course, if you know about technology but also it becomes easier, and that's why I am involved in a lot of projects as well. I had created a macro recorder here when I joined Izuto. So the recorder was actually made with the intent of scraping a file from internet. So it got very easy for them. So there were some of the projects where I used my technical skills also.
And before you joined Izuto, what knowledge of the publishing industry did you have? How in terms of the customer industry, how comfortable were you with it?
So in terms of the customer industry, I was already in touch with customers, like starting from after Infosys, the company that I joined, Orthopedic Research Services. I was there also in touch with a lot of customers and teams. And in Amazon, of course, we were in touch with French brand managers. In Z1 Media, yes, there were customers from all around the world. And the publisher side of the business, I got more knowledge in Z1 Media, because I was handling that segment in that company. And that experience actually helped me in getting a job at Izuto. And
yeah, and that was what I was thinking. That was where I was kind of leading with that question. I think it's quite interesting for people, particularly if they are looking to, as I said, to transition themselves into customer success management, to see how their experience could be turned to a customer success role. And I think that if you've got previous industry experience, then I think that it's one approach would be to look at organizations that sell into the industry that you know. In other words, organizations whose customers you are going to understand their business model. You're going to understand their challenges. You're going to understand their fears. You're going to understand their customers, the customer's customer, and their products and so on. And I think that you mentioned about empathy and relationships. Well, of course, I tend to feel most comfortable with people who understand me. If someone just doesn't get me, then it's more difficult.
Right.
So looking at it from the customer's perspective, they're going to find it easier, I think, to form relationships with a customer success manager such as yourself if they see that CSM gets it, understands their pains and their joys and their challenges and their opportunities. And, does that, would you agree with that?
Right, Rick. I would definitely agree with you. So you need to have that empathy factor in you, and you need to be available and make them comfortable if they have any queries, any issues. You should be accessible in the first place. It should not be that you're not available or they're trying to reach out to you. You should actually go to them, and because it's a proactive approach, and if you see that something can be improved in an account or there's something which they can actually go for it and the account can get good numbers, you should definitely put that forward and put that forward so that they can actually go with it and they understand that, because basically the role is we need to make their journey successful with the product, and for that you need to be in touch with them. You need to understand their pain points, their side of the story. That's really important.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think that the point I was getting at is maybe there's two parts to that empathy. One part is the empathy itself, i.e. the approach, the personality of the person, and as you say, the proactiveness of that person who goes out of their way to form a good quality relationship and has the right personality to be somebody that people warm to and feel comfortable with, etc. But as I said, I think the other side is just literally what they know, what their previous experience has been. I think also can help. Now, of course, we can train somebody in industry information, okay, but I think and that's easier to do, actually, I would say, than it is to train somebody to be empathetic. To have empathy. is a better way of putting it, isn't it? Be empathetic, have empathy is a better way of putting it. So I think that's actually, it's a personal quality of, and frankly, some people have a lot of it. Some people have, a medium amount, and some people have very little, and we're all on a sliding scale. And I don't know what you think, but I don't know just how much somebody ever changes throughout the entirety of their life. I could see how somebody could be, and I think generally speaking, as we grow and mature, because we experience more relationships with and interactions with people, we do grow in empathy a bit. But I'm not sure whether somebody who's just naturally not very good at empathy is ever going to be good at it. What do you think?
I think, Rick, that like you mentioned, you can of course train the other person in, maybe there is some product training or there is some tool that you want to train the other person into, but you cannot imbibe a quality that is very much, if that's there in the person, then only it can actually come up. Having an empathy, it's definitely, of course, it depends from person to person, and every personality differs. So it's you, like, if a person has that thing, then only it'll be fruitful to move into this role, because this role is all about empathy. You need to forget yourself in order to remember your customers, and it's not about just coming and solving issues and going back. It's a lot more, and trust me on that. Like, there are many other things. You need to get in touch with the customers, even if there is if there's an issue or there's a problem, you need to actually make the other person comfortable that this will get solved, and like, get that trust from him. So that's very important. The customer needs to trust his CSM, and that'll only happen if the CSM can build that trust, and that'll happen if you build that relationship with the customer.
Okay. So you'd got in your journey, you'd got so far as your current role, which is ISO 2. Had you finished the journey, or was there anything else you wanted to add in terms of your sort of career progression?
Currently, I'm working at ISO 2. So yeah, I'm right now. I'm working at ISO 2, but along with ISO 2, I've taken up a lot of initiatives these days. So like, I have started my journey as a chapter lead at Delhi NCR, so for Customer Success Network, and it's in the planning phase, and we'll be out with the first meetup on like, it'll be in the mid of July, and we are excited for that. Then there are other initiatives also, like I have just accepted a role of an ambassador at Product Led Alliance. It's a product community, and I'm definitely getting a lot to learn from there. Apart from that, I'm also a global ambassador at Women Tech Network, and when there was an event, there was a lot of work around that, and many other things. And even right now, like today itself, I got a great news that I got a scholarship from Udacity and Microsoft. There was a course that they had rolled out for machine learning, and I got the scholarship from them, and I'm really excited to start that as well.
Well, congratulations. It sounds like you're a very busy person.
Right.
And it's great that there's sort of chapters of the Customer Success Network, for example, opening up in India. There's two, isn't there? There's the Delhi one, and is it the Bangalore one, I think, is the other one, is it? Right. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah,
the other one.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so that's great. And I think I know all four people who, the two, let's see, it's yourself and who are you working with at Delhi?
So in Delhi, I work with Hitesh and Nitish.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And Bangalore one is led by Ankit. Though Ankit does help us.
Okay,
but yeah. He's also there with us in Delhi. He's a part of the discussion and everything. So because he was the one who started the India chapter. So yes, he's there.
Yeah, so he's another very energetic sort of person in the community, isn't he? So cool, great. Well, okay. Well, thank you for describing your journey. I think it's very interesting, and I think that what we need to do is maybe pick it apart a little bit and sort of look at some of the things that you've experienced that might be sort of lessons that you've learned or challenges that you've overcome that may actually be quite useful to other people. And I think, aside from anything else, it's always very interesting to learn about how other people have got into customer success management. And and well done. Congratulations. It's something that obviously you're now very passionate about, because you're volunteering left, right, and centre to do more than just what you're paid to do in it. So you obviously take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got the machine learning side as well, which you're carrying on at the same time. So, goodness me, I don't know what time you get to bed at night, but I'm guessing you don't need much sleep. So,
Yeah.
all right. So look, I know that one of the reasons you wanted to come onto this podcast recording with me is because you felt you had something to share, in terms of lessons learned and maybe how your journey may be helpful to others who are perhaps also thinking about getting into customer success, who perhaps have similar challenges ahead of them that you had and aren't sure how to deal with them. So tell me about some of the most important lessons that you've learned that stand out for you and that you think might be applicable for others as well.
Right. So there are a lot of valuable lessons that I've learned in my entire journey. And first and foremost, I definitely feel that one should be hungry for learning new stuff. So this is really very important because it helps in the overall development of the individual. So I would like to elaborate here. When I was offered a role of research intern at Z1 Media, I wasn't offered any stipend for this, and for once it did not struck me that I was not really worried about money, and I did not think about money, and I went ahead with the opportunity because I felt that there is a lot to learn in this.
So just and how many, was this a full-time position, or was it a part-time position that you took initially?
It was a part-time position.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you took a part-time position with no financial reward for it whatsoever,
right.
Purely on the basis that you were seeing the end goal. It would help you to get where you wanted to go, right?
Right. Yeah. So the intent was only one, and that was learning, because I knew that I wanted to go into the research domain. Maybe I wanted to research on something, and I wanted that exposure. So I did not look at the monetary part of it, and I just went ahead, and I really loved that. My research paper had got accepted at the conference. I went there to present in front of so many people, and it was a lovely experience. It was the best experience of my life, I'd say.
Really? Wow. Okay, cool. And how long were you in that research role?
It was for 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
And so effectively you sort of funded yourself through that 3-month period, but you got a lot of value out of it through being able to do some really deep research, having access to facilities and resources that you would not have had otherwise. And also, perhaps also, making a bit of a name for yourself and having something very valuable for your resume, as well as making connections with people and, networking and so on.
Right, Rick. And also because of that opportunity, they saw my dedication and will to learn, because of which they offered me an account manager's role, which actually further landed me to customer success role.
Okay, so again then, effectively, by taking on an unpaid research role, what you ended up with was all the stuff that I just talked about, but actually you also ended up with a job offer.
Right.
Okay, and that job offer was, and when you took that offer, did you know then about customer success management, and did you know that you wanted to be in customer success management, or was this something that came later?
It came later. That time I did not know about it, but yes, account management, which I was doing that, and that was part of it. But customer success came a bit later. But
So did the account management role appeal to you for similar reasons that customer success management appeals, i.e., it's about building and managing relationships and helping the customer organization? Or was it by then a question of, well, I could do with earning some money now, and was it, in other words, was it a practical decision, or was it still sort of quite an idealistic thing that, you were chasing your dream, if I can put it that way, your ambition?
Right. So, Rick, to be very honest, before completing my internship, I had received the offer from them, but there were other offers that I also had. I had that in my hand, but I went for this opportunity because I really loved the company's atmosphere, and I thought of going ahead with it. And of course, the role was really cool because I would be the first account manager in the team and handling a lot of stuff. There would be a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges, and it would again add to my learning. So again, coming back to the learning bit, So,
I see. Yes,
right,
so actually, that was really the core motivation for you, was that you
right,
saw this, similarly to the research, you
mm,
saw this as a great opportunity to expand yourself. Yeah.
right. Yes.
Very interesting. Okay, so yes, please do continue. If there is any other lessons that you want to take us through, other challenges that you've overcome, or other thoughts about lessons you've learned, that would be great.
Right. So there are some more lessons that I would want to share. So generally, I've seen like people fretting on things like what will happen or how will that take place. What would be my recommendation here, that we need to focus on our present and work on ourselves. So things will automatically fall in line. Things that you are actually scouting for, they will automatically come to you, because it will be your own hard work, your own dedication, will to learn, that success will be compelled to follow you. So I feel that people should have that thing in their head and should move
Right.
towards it.
Now that's really interesting. So if I can use sort of a slight analogy, I don't know if it's an analogy really, but I agree with you. Okay. I think that if we worry too much about the future, our energy is in the future, and I think this is the point that you're making, is in order to get the future,
Right,
we can't actually alter the future directly, only
right,
indirectly in
right,
what we do right now. And by the way, also, of course, even worse to be worrying about the past, because there's most definitely nothing we can do about that.
right,
But what we can do is the now. That's the only thing that we can impact, is the now. And so almost, in a sense, almost regardless of what you do, whatever you do it to the best of your ability and do
right,
lots of it. Right?
right,
I mean, just do stuff. And you're a fantastic example of how, if you do enough stuff, the stuff you want will arrive. Now, of course, it's not always as straightforward as that. But the
right.
point is that I think that generally in life,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities actually are all around us, but we don't tend to see
Right,
the
right,
majority of them.
right,
And even the ones we see, we don't take up for
right,
all
right,
sorts of reasons.
right,
I'm tired. I'm
right,
fearful. I'm busy.
right,
I'm focused on something else right now, for whatever those reasons. And that's assuming even that I noticed that opportunity. But the point is that if we, it's almost like a square root thing, where
right.
the more stuff you do, the more opportunities will surround you,
Yes,
because you're doing things which gives an opportunity for opportunities to find you.
right. Definitely,
And so if you quadruple the amount of stuff you do, you at least quadruple, if not more, like sort of, as I say, more like a square law or a cubing it, but you end up with multiples more opportunities, just by adding a little bit more effort into what you do. Does that make? I think that what I've said probably is not very well expressed, but do you get what I mean?
yeah. I definitely get that. We need to actually work on ourselves, and once we do that, we'll definitely be in a place which we actually want. So you need to believe in your dreams. You need to believe in yourself and work towards that. It'll definitely, you would definitely reach that position in your life. So instead of thinking that this might happen, or I'm not getting enough money, or I do not like the job title, I feel I should get a fancy job title, things like this, I've really heard from people have actually left some great opportunities just because they were not getting paid, or the title is not so convincing. But I feel that just look at the opportunity from the point of view of learning. If you feel that you're getting enough exposure, you are getting enough opportunities to learn, I think you should definitely go for it. And the things which, like the materialistic things like money or better position, they will definitely follow you. You would not have to go anywhere else to get that.
Right. And if you, for the sake of argument, if you're stuck in a job that you don't enjoy, which many people are, and there's a necessity to earn some money, which many people have, the majority of us, I certainly do, then you may feel kind of trapped. But actually, if you're talking to customers, for example, then every customer that you go out of your way to deliver the type of service that they remember, and they say, oh, yeah, but Bhavika did a fantastic job.
Right.
That is a potential opportunity that may come across. That person who you've treated that way may well actually have a job to offer you at some stage, like
Right.
Not
Right.
unlike, the situation you were in, where doing one thing well led to them offering you something else, because now they know you and they've seen you have presented your capabilities, not your technical necessarily, although but your personality and the type of person that you are, and they've said, yeah, this would be the type of person that we can work with.
Right, right. I definitely agree with you here, and I would like to quote an example here. So there was a customer who actually I was of course handling the account, and he left that company. I was in touch with one POC there, and he actually left the company, and
Yes.
I just gave him a call that you are, because you're no more working in that same company. What's up? Where are you going? And all that. And he mentioned one thing, that this is what is called real customer success, because you are still in touch with me when I am not even a correct POC, and I'm not even I'm no more a customer, but still you gave me a call, you want to understand where am I, how am I doing. So he was
Right.
really touched after that call, and I like he's in touch with me till date, and there are many other such customers. I definitely get a point to be in touch with your customers personally, and you should be connected with them. There are many other things. Maybe you see that the customer has, like, they have a birthday yesterday, or today they have a birthday. You need to if you get to know that, you can definitely wish them. It's a great thing. You need to be in touch with them. You need to be proactive in that approach.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely feel so that if you are really good at heart, and if you're good with empathy, and you're good with relationship building, customer success is definitely the best role for that.
Well, that's really interesting. When I look back at the people who inspired me in my earlier working life, they were highly successful people
Mm-hmm.
who had a massive network of friends, and those friends were what you've just described. They were people who started off as colleagues or acquaintances at work, or in a work situation, maybe customers, maybe clients, maybe partners, maybe the other way around. Maybe they weren't a customer, maybe I'm a customer of theirs. But because of the personality of these people who inspired me, they ended up making friends with them.
Right.
And because they ended up making friends with them, they had, a huge network. Not even, I don't think necessarily deliberately, but perhaps partially.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more just because of the type of people that they were, a huge network of people who may just want something from you, or may actually just want to give something to you back for
Right.
what you've given them at some stage. And these are the people who seem to me to be most successful in life.
Right.
It's the people with the really strong networks, and the reason why those networks are really strong is not because they're looking for a quid pro quo for everything, but because they genuinely mean it. Right? They genuinely have become friends with
Right.
their customers, and they genuinely have, care about how that person is doing and what value they got, rather than just doing it because that's the right thing to do. They're doing it because that's the thing they genuinely want to do.
Yeah. It should come from within. Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts in terms of your journey and customer success management, and inspiring others in terms of what lessons you have learned, Bhavika?
Apart from this, I would just want to say that just be on the lookout for great opportunities, and understand and network do your networking, be friends with a lot of people, try to understand the other sides, other person's pain points or their story. So these things will definitely help you in the career, because as a CSM, I definitely hear a lot of things in like, if I take a particular day in my job role, I get to meet a lot of customers, I get to know their side of story, their pain points. So you need to know that. You need to keep on networking with a lot of people, get in touch with them, try to share your stories, try to understand their stories. So this will definitely help you in the long run.
It's a little bit like investment in a way, isn't it?
Right.
You kind of in your early career, or in fact all the way through, but in particularly in your early career, you have to put the hours in and invest. And the person who does so, who invests in their 20s and 30s, will find themselves in a very strong position in their 30s and 40s and onwards. And obviously the sooner one starts to realize this and starts to do it, then the more compound interest works in their favor. And that's the same in what you're talking about in terms of relationship building, in terms of getting a name and a reputation, in terms of opportunities passing one's way, as it is in pure financial investment terms. It's the same concept. Is the quicker you start putting in, and the more you put in, and the more consistently you put in, the greater the rewards will be at later stages. But it may not come instantly, right? Sometimes
right.
You may need to just continue, as you were saying, like, to put in the effort for little to no immediate reward. And actually that is, again, there's a lot of psychological surveys that have shown that the people who are most successful in life, and obviously successful is one of those terms that you could argue it has a different meaning for different people. So, okay, I accept that. But they're using success in terms that I think most of us would agree with, not just financial, but in terms of the people who have got the things that generally society says, are the things that people want, which, yes, is financial security, but also a strong family life and hobbies and et cetera, et cetera. So it's not just sort of financial, but also sort of personally where they've got to. Those people have tended to show that they are able to delay gratification. So what does that mean? What it means is that they're prepared, instead of saying, well, I'd rather get a job flipping burgers because at least it pays me $10, they'll go and do the 3 months of unpaid research and submit a research paper and delay the gratification, because at the end of there's no guarantee that at the end of submitting a research paper you're going to get anywhere at all from doing it, but they'll do it. They'll invest effectively in doing so and delay the gratification in order to have the experience of going through that research and doing something that will pay off in the end.
Right, Rick. So we need to actually just work and we need to focus on our present, and we should not be thinking that we have not received the output very early, or there is not an immediate response that we have received in terms of many other achievements or anything, but we should just keep on working towards it and just leave that there. If we should do our bit, and the rest is, of course, if it has to happen, it will definitely happen. But we need to just keep on working on our own and on our strengths.
Great. Well, that sounds like a really good thought to end the podcast on, Bhavika. So keep working, keep doing it. Don't focus on worrying about the results, worry about your activities, and make your activities really good in order to get the results, which will come when they come.
Right.
Cool.
Correct.
Well, thank you so much. It's been great. I'm really glad that you reached out to me, and it's been very interesting listening to your story and your experiences. As I say, I'm full of admiration for what you've done, and I'll be keen to see how everything goes with the machine learning and IZOO2 and customer success network and everything else that you're involved in. So thank you very much. I've really enjoyed the conversation. I really hope that people find it useful and interesting. It's been quite a philosophical one today, which is slightly different than normal, but I think a little bit of philosophy never hurt anybody either.
Correct.
So Bhavika, once again, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so before I end the conversation, just to remind everyone, I've been talking to Bhavika Kochhar, a customer success manager working for IZOO2, and we have been discussing her journey into customer success management. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please remember to share it with your friends and colleagues, and also please do check back at practicalcsm.com regularly for more free customer success related podcasts, videos and articles. And finally, if you've not already done so, please do go to our website and sign up for the monthly newsletter. So that's it from me. My name is Rick Adams from practicalcsm.com, saying thank you for listening to this podcast, and I look forward to talking to you again in future episodes.